Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, this is going to be a video where I'm going to talk about four shares with technical patterns, some with price targets and an index. And along with the talk about the index, I'm going to just contrast it with some economic factors so that you can get an idea of the way I'm looking at the market right now. And then I would look forward to your comments so that I could get an understanding of how you look at the market right now. So with that said, let's get started. So I'm going to start off first with the Russell Index. So we are here on the TradingView platform, and each of these candles is a one-day candle. And what I'm going to do is first I'm going to hide some of these. Let me just take this off here. So we are looking at Palantir, and Palantir is, in my opinion, trying to form a double top, and that could be a bearish sign. And if we have more red candles coming down, and if we cross this green candle out here, then the double top would be confirmed. And if that happens, I'm thinking that the fall could be the price target could be somewhere around 18.89. This is a bit premature, but it's better to have a look and anticipate what is coming. And most of the times technicals come right, and many times it doesn't come right. But I think that this is a double top worth watching. And what has happened here is that the buyers have tried to push it up, and they have reached a point which seems to be a line out here, which they are not able to cross. So the bears came in and pushed them down. And again, the bulls started trying and pushing it up. They came here and they were pushed back down. So when this happens twice, then the bears take an upper hand because they know they have an upper hand. Bulls could not push it beyond this point. So then things start moving down. And also we have this gap fill to be done. So this was the very first one I wanted to talk. The next pattern I saw was on Intel. Intel is forming the opposite. It's forming a double bottom. So what we have here is a price target of around 47.09 for Intel. So sorry, it's going to be somewhere around $47 for Intel. So there is upside for Intel of almost $1.30 or something in those orders. And I'm feeling comfortable about this because we have the RSI moving upwards, and there is plenty of room before it gets overbought. So it's in an ascending status. If you look at Palantir, it is the opposite. The RSI is moving down, even though it is above average. So the fact that it is above average makes me a bit iffy that this is going to continue coming down, because the momentum is pretty good. It could turn around. But when we look at Intel, there is no turning around. This is just going to go up because it's a very strong, steep upward momentum. So I'm feeling more confident about Intel as compared to Palantir. The next one I want to talk to you about is in genomics, and it is Allogene. So if you look at Allogene out here, we had done a cup and handle target, and our target is 5.98. So in this case, what I want to say is that the target is sustained. It's still viable. It's still in play. And the only concern I would have is the almost overbought status of the RSI. And also we have the earnings coming up today. So I'll have to see what news we have there. If we have any bad news, then this can go for a toss. So technicals is just one of those extra dimensions through which you can look and confirm something. So let us wait for the earnings. Next one I want to talk to you about is Prime. So in Prime, we had a cup and handle pattern, and I think it's still viable. The cup and handle pattern is still viable. So our target for Prime was 1139. I'm still holding on to it. I'm still not convinced that it's not going to be available. Next, I want to take you to the index that I was talking about. So I'm talking about Russell Index. In Russell Index, I'm seeing reverse head and shoulder, which is a bullish pattern. And my price target for Russell is 210.33. So that is my technicals, which are saying that it's going to be out there, in my opinion, the way I interpret head and shoulders. And I can see that the momentum is above average, but it's not resounding. But these are all smaller capital shares. At the same time, there is a economic reality that we have to look at. That's where the economics comes in. I want to talk to you about. Well, we have high interest rates, and still the market is going up because the AI factor. Nvidia has promised a huge returns, and they also delivered in their earnings release, and they promised even more. So because Nvidia is doing that, all the other companies which have got AI in any form, they are also moving up. So it's all pushing the market up, despite the fact that we have got high interest rates. Now, I was listening to an analyst who was talking about the differentials. Of course, this must have happened in the past also, when interest rates were high. There are some sectors who do not feel high interest rates, and there are some sectors who feel them. Now, if you look at the private, where we talk about Citizen Joe or people like you and I, households, those of us who have got mortgages and who have high interest rates, we feel the impact. We tighten our purses and we do not spend, and we are contributing towards disinflation. And then there are others who are already on a fixed rate mortgage which was tied up earlier at a lower rate, and nothing matters to them right now, so they are not constrained, so they are still in a position to spend. Then we look at the corporates, right? So it's believed that companies in Russell Index, they are the smaller companies, and they are more impacted by the interest rates. You have the regional banks also which get impacted by interest rates. So there is this automatic downward pressure on these kind of stocks at high interest rates. And on the other hand, there are bigger companies which have got more structured products to give them money, and they have lots of money in their balance sheet, and they are not constrained by the interest rates. So there is that set of companies which I think the Mag 7 and all will be in there. So I'm thinking that there's a contrary indication when it comes to Russell Index. Russell Index was a laggard in picking up. Nasdaq went ahead. S&P 500. Actually, S&P 500 was the first one to move up, and then Nasdaq. Russell came in last. So I think Russell has a longer way to go, and there should be more gains in stock for Russell. And the reverse head and shoulder pattern I saw there validates that. But at the same time, when I look at it from an economic perspective, the impact of the interest rates, the story doesn't look good from that perspective. Let us take the case of a smaller company which has got limited capital. It won't be able to expand because if it goes to borrow, the service charges are going to be very high because the interest rate is high. So they won't expand. So those kind of constraints will come to them, and therefore the share price should be subdued. That's my expectation, but we are seeing the contrary in the chart. If you look at the chart here for Russell, you can see that there's been a steady uptick out here. There's actually a bull channel that has formed here, and it's pretty steep. So this is another factor that I'm a little concerned about. So if I was to connect all the maximum points out here, right, assuming that this green candle was an aberration, it should not have come down so much. But all said and done, this is a very steep angle. Of course, it's not as steep as what we saw Nvidia do, but this is not a sustainable angle of ascent for any stock in general. And this being an index, I'm seeing that this is going to be less sustainable. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a bit of a sideways movement and then we go up and this kind of becomes a 45-degree angle, then we will definitely end up reaching our target of 210 and change for Russell Index. So those were the things I had to talk about. And of course, while we are here, let us look at the put call ratio. It's almost neutral, but it's a little bit bullish as compared to neutral. I would say neutral tending towards bullish, because 0.70 is what we should look at for PCC for being bullish if it goes below that. But right now also I'll take this. So everything is looking good. And just before we go, let's look at the futures. Nasdaq futures is down minus 0.20%. And QQQ aftermarket is down 0.24. And the most important thing to look at before we go is Nvidia. Nvidia aftermarket is up 0.81%. That is $6.93. Guys, this is amazing. And one more stock I want to see before I go is ARM. Where is ARM? Yeah, here it is. ARM has picked up 47 cents post market. So probably this was a bit of profit taking today. We came back into the bullish pennant. So I'm still hopeful that we can break out on the upper side. And also if you look at drawing a trend line out here, we have got more higher lows. We have not yet had a lower low so far. So I'm still bullish about this. Could have been a matter of cooling of the RSI. So that's about it, my friends. This is all I wanted to talk to you about. Overall, it was an exciting day. So I made multiple videos. I hope you enjoy all those videos. There's a whole lot of things I had to say. So we rarely get these kind of days. Enjoy. Have a great day. I'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.